Namaste students, myself JBN Sakshi Pandey, Assistant Professor at Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences. So in this session, we will discuss about the folic acid function, the disorder, its sources and its biological functions. Okay. So in previous session, we have discussed about folic acid, its introduction and its sources and its RDA and deficiency disorder. I guess you are well satisfied with this session. In this session, we will basically talk about the function of folic acid. So as we have discussed earlier also, folic acid is what? It is a water-soluble vitamin which is soluble in water and it is doesn't absorb in a human body and it is excreted out in urine. Okay, so folic acid, the active form is folic acid is THF. Okay, THF is what? Tetrahydrofolate. So I have discussed earlier also that all the like your all water soluble vitamins as well as your vitamins that are in soluble in water basically perform function in their coenzyme form. Okay, in coenzyme form plus they're in their active form. They doesn't function alone. So these coenzyme forms are have a basic form of enzymes which perform its function. Okay, so like folic acid is what? It is derived from the Latin word that is folium, mean leaf, and it is isolated from the leafy vegetable that is spinach. So folic acid is what is your that active form of folic acid is your tetrahydrofolate that is THF. So folic acid is mainly consists of three major components. First is your tyrosine ring. Second is your para-amino benzoic acid. Third is your glutamic acid residue. Okay, so it is also known as your tyrosine glutamic acid. Okay, so this is also the form of folic acid, or you can say the name of folic acid. So we have talked about earlier also the active form of folic acid, but how this active form is generated in your body. Okay, so when you take folic acid from the dietary sources, okay, you have like for example you have taken spinach in your diet, okay, and that spinach contain a good amount of folic acid. That good amount of folic acid is converted into its active form, that is THF. So how the conversion is done? This conversion is basically done by the dihydroreductase enzyme. Okay, dihydroreductase enzymes. Okay, so this enzyme is basically what they do. It converts the folic acid into THF, that is tetrahydrofolate, which is the active form of folic acid. Okay, so this is what happened when we talk about the conversion of folic acid to its active form, inactive to active form. Okay, and now the metabolism of folic acid. So metabolism is basically in some phases. The first number phase is your absorption. Okay, so absorption basically what happened here, the folic acid itself doesn't absorb in its purest form. For the absorption, it has to be converted into some simpler form. Okay, so the folic acid has to be converted into monoglutamic form, and it is only absorbed in your intestine part. Okay, and then the storage of folic acid is basically done in the polyglutamate form, and the storage is done in your liver cells, also known as Kupffer cells. Okay, now we will talk about the biochemical function, biological aspects, or you can say the physiological function of folic acid. So folic acid is not biologically active. Okay, so now this is the number one part of the folic acid that you must have known, that it is not biologically active. For the activation of folic acid, the active coenzyme is required, that is your THF. Okay, tetrahydrofolate, and it is also known as tetrahydrofolic acid, that is FH4. Okay, so this tetrahydrofolate is what they do their number of function. Okay, and now this tetrahydrofolate is also arise in many different forms. The first form is methyl tetrahydrofolic acid. Second is methylene tetrahydrofolic acid. Third is formyl tetrahydrofolate. And fifth is your formino amino tetrahydrofolate. Okay, so these are some form of folic acid. Sorry, tetrahydrofolic acid. Okay, so the coenzyme of folic acid are actively involved in one carbon metabolism. Okay, one carbon metabolism is what that we have this we are going to discuss further also. So THF acts as acceptor or donor of carbon unit in reaction involving amino acid and nucleotide metabolism. Okay, so nucleotide, that is your DNA and RNA, amino acids, when they metabolize, these reactions required one carbon unit. Okay, so that carbon unit is arises by the THF. Okay, THF mainly acts as an acceptor or donor for that one carbon unit. Then the one carbon metabolism, how it occurs, the amino acid metabolism is important for the transport of exchange of one carbon unit. Okay, so it means amino acid is basically required for the one carbon metabolism. So THF is what they do. It is very versatile coenzyme, actively participate in one carbon metabolism, transfer the methyl group from one amino acid to different, and it involved B12, that is cyanocobalamin, also with themselves to function one carbon unit. Okay, so this is how the one carbon unit function can be performed. Okay, next point is many compound, particularly amino acid, act as a donor of one carbon unit. The formate is released from glycine and tryptophan metabolism combined with THF to formyl THF. Okay, so histidine is also one of the sort of your amino acid. It also contribute in this one carbon unit metabolism. Serine is also converted into glycine. Both are your amino acids, and this leads to the first entry phase of one carbon unit. Okay, then the utilization of one carbon unit, how it is utilized in your body. This is utilized in the various kinds, like first purine formation. Purine is one of your nucleotide. Glycine, pyrimidine. Okay, purine pyrimidine is a nucleotide. Okay, and the role of methionine and vitamin B12. Okay, so this is all done by your what? Folic acid. Okay, now we will talk about the dietary sources of folic acid. So dietary sources is what? Basically your the green leafy vegetable, that is spinach, bakwa, cauliflower, broccoli, kale. This all are very good, so contain very good amount of folic acid. When we talk about the poor sources of folic acid, is basically your animal source. Okay, like liver, kidney, milk, and fruits. It doesn't contain a good amount of folic acid. Okay, now we will talk about the deficiency disorder of folic acid. So dietary deficiency basically occurs when folic acid is inadequate. Like first we will discuss about the causes of deficiency. That what are the causes of deficiency? The first is inadequate intake, overcooking of food, impaired absorption. Okay, drug interference. So inadequate intake, what it means? कि inadequate मतलब कि the requirement is like much more and you are taking from diet in low amount. Okay, so the intake is inadequate. It is not appropriate according to your body requirement. The second is overcooking of food. So folic acid is very heat sensitive vitamin. Like when you cook or overcook food, okay, when you reheat the food again and again, then that food is basically lose its folic acid content. Okay, so overcooking of food can also result in folic acid activity lost or reduced. Then the third cause can be the impaired absorption. Impaired absorption is what? When you are taking proper amount of folic acid, but itself in your intestine, like for the absorption route. So, okay, so your intestine is partially damaged or completely damaged, or it is suffering from any sort of disease, any sort of disorder. So it leads to impaired absorption, like the absorption is cannot take place in a good amount. Then the drug interference. Drug interference is what? When the folic acid absorption like hinders with while taking the other amount of drugs. Okay. So when your body, when you consume different sort of drugs, contraceptive, then it can lead to hinder of folic acid absorption. Okay, increased demand. Increased demand is very important factor when we talk about the deficiency, because in certain age or in certain condition, the amount of folic acid is basically increased in the requirement. For example, in pregnancy, okay, so pregnant lady required very high amount of folic acid as compared to normal individual. Okay, so when the demand is increasing and you are not taking properly in your diet, hence you are not fulfilling, not satisfying your needs, your requirement, then it can lead to deficiency disorders. Okay, so these are what your deficiency disorder causes. In this, there is one more cause, that is the hemolytic anemia. Hemolytic anemia is what? When your heme is what? It is the basic compound of a hemoglobin. So lytic is what? The breakdown. So when your heme is break down, then it can lead to hemolytic anemia. That can also result in folic acid deficiency. Okay, and the loss of folic acid is also seen in patients who are undergoing dialysis. Okay, so dialysis, in the condition of dialysis, what happens? Your blood or the fluid or the lymph is exchanged. Okay, time to time it is exchanged. So the patient is not very much satisfied with the folic acid content. Okay, so all these are the causes of deficiency disorder. Now the clinical features, like when folic acid deficiency occurs, what are the clinical features that you basically assess? The first one is megaloblastic anemia. Okay, so megaloblastic anemia is what? It is basically due to the folic acid deficiency, and it is characterized by hyperchromic or microlytic anemia. Okay, hyperchromic matlab ki when the size of RBCs became large. Okay, hyperchromic or microlytic. Or hypochromic means when the size of RBC is reduced or shrink. Okay, so in this condition is basically what happen, a patient look very pale in color. Okay, all the blood from the body is not seen, like red nails is not there. Okay, white or pale nails, pale skin, yellowish eye. Okay, so these are the clinical features of megaloblastic anemia. Now the laboratory finding, now how you can assess or how you can check that the level of folic acid is low or normal or not. Okay, so there are some sort of tests. Basically, they are like your clinical test. Okay, the number one test is your low plasma folic acid level. Second is low red cell folic acid level, normal plasma vitamin B12 level, and increased plasma LDH level. Okay, so, test which is basically done for the folic acid assessment is your PIGLU test. Okay, this is also known as for aminoglutamate, and this is like the excretion of for aminoglutamate is associated in your urine sample. So what they do, they take your urine sample and then they check whether the presence of for aminoglutamate is there or not. Okay, so their presence or absence indicate the folic acid deficiency. Okay, or not. Now the folic acid deficiency is also associated with one of the biggest factor, that is neural tube defect. Okay, neural tube defect is what? Like as I have told earlier also, like in pregnancy, the basic requirement of folic acid is increased. Okay, a pregnant lady is required up to 400 mg per day of folic acid, while a normal lady is required 100 mg. Okay, so plus 300 up to 300 requirement is increased. Okay, so what happened if any pregnant lady doesn't take the requirement, doesn't fulfill their folic acid requirement, it basically their fetus, her fetus is basically affects from neural tube defect. Okay, neural tube defect is what? It is involved the defect in brain and spinal cord of fetus. Okay, so the fetus, the baby is doesn't develop, it doesn't grow. Okay, it basically died in first, second or third trimester, and if the baby survive the delivery, then it ultimately die after few days. Okay, so brain and spinal cord development doesn't take properly if any pregnant lady doesn't take folic acid in good amount. Okay, so folic acid supplements is provided by the side of hospitals during pregnancy to helps to prevent the neural tube defect. It also involved in nucleic acid and amino acid metabolism, and deficiency result in impaired neural development. Okay, so this is what happened in your neural tube defect. Okay, so while taking a good amount of folic acid, we can generally check, or we can generally treat the neural tube defect. So thank you all for all this session. And in this session, you can go through your Bishri Lakshmi. This book covers widely. This topic is in very good amount, in very good process. Okay, and the question that can be arising in the competitive exams is the relative effect about the RDA level, the biological function of folic acid. So this is all with this session. I hope you are well satisfied with this session, and thank you all.